have them in pressure control, and I'm going to have them in assist control, pressure control. Let's put my pressure at 20, my baseline at 3. Turn off my oxygen.
And you're going to give us all these numbers?
No.
Oh.
Well, right now, I'm just kind of building this up.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So go ahead and hook it up to the test lung. Without taking my foot. Little martini glasses.
Those look so cute. Talking about going to the bar.
I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
You drive me to drink, Ash.
Yeah, that's what they say.
So again, what we're looking at here then is a pressure controlled breath, inspiratory time of, let's say, 1 second. And every time the patient would trigger, I'm going to do a trigger there. Never mind, I'll do a trigger.
So we're using
gotta do it in the
we're
back.
using our target pressure. We're using 80.
All I'm doing right now is just I'm just talking about pressure control, assist control. And every time they trigger a breath, it triggers a mandatory breath, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Like we've been used to. If I go back and I make them now into SIMV, and let me make my top inspiratory time a little bit longer. What they have the availability of doing is now breathing spontaneously at both levels of pressure. Right?
But the volumes aren't measured.
But the volumes aren't measured. I'm still in assist control, aren't I?
Yeah, hang on.
If you hit accept, it might be a good idea, right? Like you tell me.
Remember my first day. Yeah.
So
now,
say that again?
They're an SIMV pressure control.
Right.
But if you'll notice, they're able to take breaths at that upper level,
Okay.
but there's no measurement of it.
Right.
It doesn't count the respiratory rate. It doesn't measure the volume.
Okay.
Okay. The other thing is, as it transitions from P high back down to peak, if the patient happens to be taking a spontaneous effort, it just ignores it. So the patient could be taking a breath in, and all of a sudden the bottom drops out. And that can lead to some dysynchrony, be uncomfortable. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because I'm able to breathe at that upper level.
This is SIMV.
This is SIMV pressure control.
Okay.
So what they did is they said, well, let's create a different mode. Let's call it bilevel. And with bilevel, it basically is the same exact thing. I have a P high and I have a peep. Instead of having that 20 that it was at, right? It's at a pressure of 20, starting off at 3, going up 20 to 23. Now it sets that pressure. So instead of being the pressure above peep,
It's above peep high. Wait.
yeah, it's basically saying I'm going to start at 3 and go up to 23. So in essence, I have a delta of 20.
Right.
Okay?
That's what. Okay. Now that's what. Now with bilevel, we can do. The volumes are going to be measured. Unlike.
Now I'm going to measure, right. Now what you will notice here is there's a little locking mechanism. And what I want to do is I want to lock the time high, as it is right now.
Always the time high?
When you're in bilevel, as bilevel, yes. Think of pressure control. What parameters do you set? We set a rate, we set a pressure, we set an inspiratory time, which in essence is this time high. It's the pressure you spend at that higher pressure. That make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So now, when I take a spontaneous effort, at that high end, it gets measured. It quantifies it. No, wait a minute, I didn't activate it. Let's try that again. You can see they're salmon colored. It's picking up on it now, and it's measuring those volumes.
Okay.
Now,
Make sense?
so pretty much, if time has elapsed and seeing patient exhale, it synchronizes from P low to P high.
Correct. From P high to P low.
P high to P low. That's what bilevel is.
That's what bilevel does. In comparison to pressure control SIMP. Because really they're the same exact thing except for those little nuances.
Gotcha.
Okay, now to stop you here, now when we want to add pressure support to spontaneous breath at T low,
Mm-hmm.
okay? It's
Just like
referenced to
SIMV.
low
I just add, it's always referenced to my PEEP level.
That's
To my,
what
in
I
this
wrote
case,
down.
my low
Reference to
low PEEP. So now if I were to take a spontaneous breath, it would be supported with 5 centimeters of water. There's not time enough normally to have a pressure supported breath at the upper level. So it's not an issue. Because under normal conditions, this is only going to be about a second. Pressure control, right?
But then
You're looking at me.
I don't
Disturbed.
understand the pressure support and then the
Well,
low.
pressure support's only for
This is
spontaneous.
reference to that.
Okay.
So I'm starting at 3, going up 5 to a total of 8.
And it's only for spontaneous breaths, correct?
Of course.
Yes.
now what I have written here that you said if you want pressure support at high level, then set at 25.
No, we're not there yet.
Okay.
That's when we're talking about APRV. Right now, you typically, in that 1 second, you typically aren't going to have a spontaneous breath. Okay. So what is APRV? That's the next step. Okay. So bilevel is like
Wait, I'm
pressure
not ready to
control.
move on to APRV yet. Okay.
What else would you like to know about bilevel?
So PEEP high is similar to IPAP, PEEP low is similar to EPAP.
Right.
So we must increase both to make the delta the same.
Right. If you go up on this to 5, that delta now is only 18. So you would need to go up on that proportion.
So then that could decrease FiO2 and all that.
Decrease
Tidal line.
tidal volume. It's CO2, not so much FiO2.
Okay.
Just
I
like-
mean,
just like
not-
I meant O2.
Just like
Not
going with
FiO2.
IPAP.
Yeah, that's. I didn't.
So are you gonna be like, giving us a gas and saying, oh, well, if I change IPAP?
No.
Okay, don't do that.
Maybe on a
Not the quiz.
maybe the quiz. Yeah,
No, come on.
You're right.
that's right. You're ready.
Oh yeah. No.
I'll just use yours as the key.
Okay.
How's that?
Okay.
So you'll get 100%, and everybody
Thank
else has to compare to you.
Okay, we can move on.
Okay.
Ashley
So-
says we can move on.
There is no APRV mode, if you look.
Yeah.
APRV is just a way to apply bilevel by having an extended time at the high and a very limited time at the low.
Because we don't want to. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So what we do here in APRV is we lock time low. Because I always want to have that release time fixed. Now notice what happens
Are you just pressing on that too?
just on the hip.
Oh, okay.
So let me make this where normally I would have the time high in pressure control 0.8 to 1.2. Here I'm going to have the time low in that kind of range. I think the PE says 0.5 to 1.2. Okay, whatever. But I'm going to make this so that it's a very short amount of time spent
Because we don't want them breathing
at that low
at
level.
that low level.
By definition, APRV does not allow spontaneous ventilations at the low pressure, only at the high. So now if I look at my graphic, what I'm going to see is this prolonged period at the upper level and a very short release time that you're going to end up having. The reason why we lock time low is so that as I have a change in respiratory rate, all I'm doing is changing the total cycle time, keeping the time low the same, and just altering the time high. Does that make sense?
Wait, say that again. Changing.
When I lock time low remains constant regardless of, or when I change the respiratory rate. So let's say I go from a rate of 12 to a rate of 10. I now change my total cycle time from 5 seconds to 6 seconds. That E time, or the time low, has not changed.
Oh, okay.
What has changed is the time high.
Okay.
Now, I've written here, how long does that time low at long enough to gas emptying out the lungs, but we don't want it to decrease.
Take a look at, again,
right?
good way to do it is put them both to flow. So I have a nice big flow graph. When it releases, you don't want that coming back to zero before the start of the next breath.
You don't want it coming back to zero?
No. You want auto peak. So this is actually a little bit too long. Let's make it a little bit shorter. Let's see what we're looking at here.
So there's not a full exhalation.
Correct. You want auto peak. Do you see the auto peak?
Why do we want auto peep?
Because you want to have the lungs not come to a. If it comes
Complete
back to zero, I
close.
de-recruit.
Okay, that's what I. Okay.
So I want to prevent that at all costs.
Gotcha.
Where to set the T low? Again, 0.5 to 1.2, somewhere in that ballpark. But to fine tune it, look at this graph. Now this spike here we're going to ignore because that's just decompression of the circuitry. But if I look at that, then I can call that as a flow rate of 60. And it next breath begins then at a flow rate of about 30. So that's about 50%. And you want that somewhere between 25 and 50%.
And so when do we use APRV?
Whenever you,
Doing our-
the most common one is when I have a compliance issue. Yeah.
Okay.
So ARDS is kind of the best ballpark.
So are
But there's no reason you couldn't ventilate anybody at any point in time in this. Think of this as CPAP with a release. So I'm at this level of CPAP, and periodically I dump and go back up.
And can spontaneously breathe.
And they
at
breathe
that
spontaneously at that
level.
upper level. In fact, right now my minute ventilation is only about 3.5. In actuality, the patient probably would be more than that with their spontaneous breaths. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So let me slip over here and I'll create some spontaneous breaths.
I'm sure you guys want this
Now,
video.
you would
Yeah.
would you, someone who has ARDS, would you say you want to put this on APRV over Bilevel because there's not that deep
With bi-level, you run the risk of de-recruiting.
For this, they're not breathing at the low. Okay.
So you're showing here that,
There's some spontaneous volumes going on.
So the release,
and it's being measured.
During the release, it's just flushing that gas out, flushing new gas.
patients with ear trap.
You want them there, trapped.
Right, but then the release, they're not really air trapped as much.
Yeah.
They
Oh
are.
yeah.
Yeah, because you don't want the de-recruitment.
That's right. That's right. Where we always learn that auto peep is the devil. Here, actually, it's the savior.
Yeah. Okay.
For peep high, a number 10 to 30
Okay.
seconds.
Where do we set peep high?
10 to 30.
Well, you're going to be given on the PE, if you look at it, you're going to be giving a plateau pressure.
So whatever the plateau is.
You want 80 to 100% of that plateau.
Okay. Now what about pressure support on the APRV?
Okay, now comes the screwy part. Let's say that I'm in APRV, my oxygenation is okay, but my PCO2 is a little bit low, my spontaneous tidal volumes. Ordinarily, what you would do is add some pressure support, right? Bring their tidal volume up. The problem is, this is always referenced to that.
But wait, what's reference? Yep.
Pressure support is always referenced to the level of peep low. So it never sees it because I'm at a pressure that's significantly higher. I'm at a pressure of 23. So even though I put 5 over 3, it ain't going to get anywhere. If I want 5 of pressure support up here, I need to make this 25. So now then, 3 plus 25 is 28. This is at 23. I'm going to get 5 of pressure support above that.
That's where I was confused out.
Only there?
For now.
So let me say this. So APRV is bi-level, but you're just lacking that expiratory.
And
Time.
I'm making the time low so short that you can't do a spontaneous breath.
Okay.
Because
That's
you don't
the
want that
important
deep.
part. I mean, you can lock time low. that's an irrelevant factor. What you want to make sure you understand is that that time low needs to be short enough that I can't take a breath in.
And so how short could you go with that?
0.5, probably the shortest. You end up seeing the most help.
Do we use Bilevel?
When do we use APRV? Or when do we use Bilevel?
Bilevel.
Bilevel? When I have somebody who I may want to do pressure control type breaths with SI and V so that they have some spontaneous efforts, and I want to monitor those tidal ones and count those rates.
Oh. I think I saw it once at
Were they in APRV or were they in?
I think it was Bilevel, and the respiratory therapist was like, I don't really understand this because it was like,
Okay, tell you what.
So what is 75%?
What that if we go from 25 to 50, that means we're trapping about 70 between 50 and 75%.
And that's what we want.
Right.
Just on the side.
When I walk up, I should see that on your flow curve, you don't come back to baseline. If you do, you're de-recruiting.
Don't want.
Weaning.
Yeah, the whole drop and stretch thing is
There you go.
much.
There you go. My box is this big. That's a mean airway pressure. If I make the box longer but shorter,
it's still the same.
it's still the same mean airway pressure.
And that's
So
how
here-
you wean.
That's how I wean. They're on a CPAP of essence 23, right? So if I drop this and at the same time stretch this out, what I've done, that's gotten longer. Now what I end up doing is have a lower pressure that they're at, but a
But the
longer
same.
time at that pressure,
Okay.
and the mean airway pressure probably will stay pretty close to the same thing.
So you're not messing with the oxygenation.
And we can
I
when we
mean,
get
look at
when we get this drop down to within 5 of peak, I got 5 of CPAP. I can make this a ridiculous value. So now I have a breath every 30 seconds that it oscillates, but instead I got this very low pressure there. And as they're breathing spontaneously on that, what the heck, that's 5 of CPAP. It's activated.
So bilevel patients can breathe spontaneously between machine breaths, but APRV they cannot between breaths.
Right.
But they can both.
They can breathe spontaneously at the upper level, just not
Both of them can do it.
question.
Yeah.
So then, if you had this pressure support of that, so that would make
Oh, now I would have a huge amount
Oh.
if that was at 8.
okay. So
Yeah, I
how?
have a pressure port 20. I would need to come down on this.
Okay.
If I wanted 5, I would make this 10.
Okay.
3 and 10 is 13, minus 8 is 5.
Okay.
Now, do we need to put on?
That's the other option you have, is that you can use tube compensation as opposed to pressure support. In reality, and I drew it on the board over there, if you think of the little circle there as being a spontaneous breath, and I'm at 20 of pressure, and I'm breathing spontaneously.
Is it right here?
God, today is so good. Feel better about life.
So here I'm at a pressure of 20, I'm doing spontaneous breaths, right? And I'm delivering a certain tidal. If that tidal volume's too low, I can add pressure support to that. But the bigger question is, why not just go up on your pressure? So now what I'm doing is I'm pushing up the pressure volume curve in that same amount of effort. Now I'm generating a bigger tidal.
Yeah.
I'm in a better part of the compliance curve. Does that make sense?
Yes.
No, I don't get it.
Okay. 2 ways that you can improve spontaneous tidal. One is just add some pressure support to that breath. Better alternative, though, maybe just go up on your pressure that you're at, your PI. Because
Okay.
as you go up, I'm pushing into a more optimal spot on the pressure volume curve. In other words, for a given amount of effort, they're going to generate a larger tidal because their lung is more